So this is way above the standards in terms of ratios, what theoretically works best. Hey everyone, and welcome back on the channel. My name is Alex, and today is another mega review. The first mega review we had was the sock mega review, and today we have gels, energy gels. It took me a long time during the summer after someone on the channel, I think it's Robin. If you're watching, Robin, thank you very much for suggesting this. Robin essentially suggested this video. I bought tons of gels, some of them were sent to me, and I will disclose that to you, of course. Yeah, it took me a while, I must admit. I did that with a glucose monitoring sensor to really see the effects of each gel on my glucose levels, and it was quite interesting. For the glucose monitoring system, I used the Super Sapiens pod. You can check my first review of the Super Sapiens sensor here, upper right hand corner, and there will be a follow-up video with Super Sapiens. Stay tuned for that because they are innovating, they are releasing new stuff, and I think this is really a game changer. And yeah, I think this is really a game changer. So stay tuned for the second video with Super Sapiens. But today, mega gel review. Without no further ado, let's begin. Just so you know, you will find the links in the description of this video to pretty much all the gels, at least whenever I can put links. And for some of them, at least one of them or two, you will have also discount codes thanks to the companies. They also send discount codes for the viewers of the channel, so you can, test the gels, because testing is very important. For all the gels, pretty much, the rules are one, the quantities. You need to find the right amount of carbs that work for you. Two, you need to find what works for your stomach, your guts. And three, you need to test. So yeah, that's just beforehand. You have the key golden rules for gels, at least what I think. First gel is from 6D, so you have it right here. What I like about this gel is the size. It's one of the shortest, if not the shortest gel in terms of size, so it really fits nicely into your pockets when out for a run or when cycling, so this is great. The other very, very good thing for this one is the amount of sodium, 200 milligrams. It's way above the recommendation, which is 50-60 milligrams per gel, so this is 200. It almost allows you to go out for a run without taking any fluids with sodium, which is great. So this is really nice about this one. In terms of glucose monitoring, all the gels, I'm just going to say it up front and I'm not going to repeat it. All the gels, they bump your glucose levels. So that's fine, and you very quickly enter into the performance zone in terms of glucose levels, and that's the case for all the gels. Now the differences between these gels, this gel and the others, is the variability. So the idea is to find the gel, the nutrition, that gets you the steadiest possible level of glucose, because when glucose is steady, then you don't have spikes and drops, and then your body is not working to compensate the spikes, the drops, and you're less tired, and you can really use the energy provided by the gel for the performance. And this one in particular, there are three of them, I think, yeah, three of them that really gave me a nice steady level of glucose, and this is one of them. So with this one, I think I was at 14 milligrams per deciliter of blood in terms of variability. If you're using Super Sapiens or another glucose monitoring app, you know what it's about. I'm just saying the number, remember 14, and I think it's 14, 15 and 14 for the three good gels, and then we are above 20 in terms of variability, so a higher variability for the other gels. So this one, size is great, taste is okay, nothing stunning, lots of sodium, which is great as well, and low variability. It's developed in Belgium by a center called Bacala. It's a university, the University of Leuven, and they have a sports performance center. So this is also nice too. I'm living in Belgium, in Brussels, to have someone, to have something from, a place not too far from here. This is 6D. Second gel, and this is sort of the very standard gel that we are having here in the house throughout the year because it's cheap. I didn't mention, but the 6D gel was €2.20 in the more expensive ones. This one is very cheap. It comes at 71 cents in euros, so you know, quite cheap. And we are having it here in the house. I'm not sure after the review and after testing it, we will be buying it as much as we did because yes, it's very lightweight, so you don't have, you know, tons of liquid in it. It's very concentrated, but I think the fact that it's so concentrated also gives it a very strong taste. I didn't really know that before testing all the gels, but this one is really, you know, starts to be disgusting after an hour, even more so after 2 hours eating only these. Yeah, and the variability in terms of glucose is very high, so you have high spikes and high drops. So it's fine if you want to have something cheap, but yeah, it's from the French brand Decathlon, so you know, those big sports shops. I don't know if, yeah, it's focused. It's, you know, it's cheap, it's not very heavy, size is okay. And 23 grams of carbs in this one, but other than that, nothing to write home about. And I'm not sure I'm going to be buying it again, or at least not in big quantities, because I think I will use more of the others moving forward. Third gel, or gels should I say, it's the very popular and very controversial, I think, Maurten's. So this is the non-caffeinated version and this is the caffeinated version. This is really up to you. I am not ranking or rating the gels based on the caffeine. Caffeine can improve your performance to very small levels. If you're into that, go for it. If not, you know, especially if you're a coffee drinker like me, and I'm trying to stop coffee during race weeks, a few days before a race. But if you're a regular coffee drinker, caffeine doesn't have the same effect on you as on people who are not coffee drinkers or tea drinkers for that matter. You know, this is really up to you. But Maurten, the great stuff about Maurten is really the ratio between glucose and fructose. For all the gels that are tested today, except Maurten, the ratio is 2:1. For Maurten, the ratio is 1:6:1. So this is way above the standards in terms of ratios, what theoretically works best. And how does Maurten do that? They essentially have a seaweed, an algae into their gel, and this allows you to digest and to assimilate the carbs in the gel much quicker and better than with the other gels. And that's how they sort of circumvent the traditional 2:1 ratio, which is recommended still in the science. In all the publications, you see the 2:1 ratio being the golden standard. And Maurten managed to go beyond that ratio, way beyond it, thanks to the that algae, which is in the ingredients called sodium alginate. This is the name in the ingredients for that seaweed. Yeah, Maurten is one of the 3 gels with which I had low glucose variability, so less spikes and less drops. I think it was 15, so 14 for the 6D, 15 for this one. You know, one value difference isn't very relevant. This is a margin of error, really. Tastes, I'm not a huge fan. I'm just gonna say it. It's sort of tasteless, but it has a taste, especially when taking it for 4 or 5 hours on the bike. At the end, I'm just sick of it. So this is the drawback, and of course the price is also the major drawback with these. €3.20 per gel. It's really a lot, and I cannot afford fueling myself on Maurten's only, and this is why I will come back to other good gels price-wise, but also for the rest of it. Maurten has 85 milligrams of sodium, which is really fine. Only 25 grams of carbs. I'm saying only, this is good, but some gels are at 30 grams of carbs per unit, which is even better and more practical to have to carry less gels with you. Next, we have some gels from a brand new company. I think, at least I wasn't aware of them. It's called NeverSecond. You have them. And so here I have the citrus and the espresso gels. The gels I'm showing you today are the leftovers from all the gels I bought, so you know the flavors don't really matter. These gels taste very good. They really taste good. They are very liquid, which for some people is important because they need to have something liquid to eat and they cannot chew, for instance, a paste like Maurten. This is really liquid, but the drawback with that is of course the size. This is the biggest package at 140 millimeters of size. And this is just too big. I mean, should the NeverSecond be compacted in smaller packages, I'd be way more interested in them. I cannot carry this type of huge things with me. They stick out of all the pockets I have, even on the bike jerseys. So this is just way too big. Good stuff about them though is the amount of carbs, 30 grams of carbs and 200 milligrams of sodium. So carb-wise, sodium-wise, it's great, but for me it's killed by the size. Variability wasn't excellent, at least not as the three other companies with low variabilities. But you know, variability is very individual, so what I'm saying for me may not be relevant for you. If you're interested and you have either very big pockets or you're training inside, indoors, I could use these on the trainer right here because I'm training indoors and I put my gels on the table that you see there. I could use them for that. So this may be a use case scenario for you as well. If so, you can really consider them. Price is okay, below 2 euros, 1.99, so that's good. Next, we have a big classic, at least I think so, from Powerbar. This is the Power Gel from Powerbar. I'm saying a big classic because we are finding these very easily in the shops here in Europe. I don't know if it's the case in the regions you live in, but it's a classic and I would have rated it way higher in my sort of personal preferences or a choice moving forward if the variability was better. For me, this was one of the worst variability, meaning lots of spikes and drops, despite having sort of all the good features that you're looking for, the 2-to-1 ratio, 26 grams of carbs per pouch per little unit, 206 milligrams of sodium, and a very reasonable price at €1.50. So, you know, all the specs seem good, but variability wasn't great. I may retest it further down the road and see if my body is working differently with it, because it seems to tick all the boxes and the size is quite compact, not the smallest one, to 129 millimeters, but it's not very thick, so you can really, you know, sort of pile them up in your pocket. Let's see, I may retest it, but for now it's not in my shortlists for the future. Next we have this one from Precision Hydration. It's called the Precision Fuel. And as you can see on the package, it has 30 grams of carbs in it. This is a feature that I really appreciate because consuming lots of carbs during my workouts also means needing to carry lots of gels. And when they have more carbs in it, I need to carry less of them. So 30 is good. What's very nice about it is the size. It's not too big, it doesn't stick out too much of your pockets. Nice little system here. Some of the gels have it though, but here it has it. You can see this little thing here that allows you to rip off the tab and not have to throw it away, and polluting less, which is good. It doesn't have any sodium in it, which is a major drawback if you're not carrying fluids with you on your run, on your rides. But there's a reason for that. Precision Hydration, the company selling these gels, also have some sodium tabs, and that's what I'm using. The concentrations are different for each and every one of us, and they have 3 different offerings. So, I can understand they don't want to put some sodium in the gels because they assume people will drink their sodium tabs. So, a drawback, but they have the answer to that. Price is quite good, 170 euros, €1.70, provided you use the discount code that I will put in the description. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with this one. The taste is a bit like Maurten, tasteless, but it has a nicer thing to it. Tastes a bit like a dessert cream, if it makes sense. I know it doesn't because you need to taste it, and Probably everyone would call this taste different, but it's like a dessert cream, not too sugary, and yeah, it doesn't get disgusting after a few hours eating only these. And I know it because in Zofingen for the Duathlon World Championships, I used these primarily. So yeah, and it worked well, I think. And this is the third gel. Maurten, 6D and Precision Fuel are the three gels with very low variabilities. This one was 14 as well, I believe. So low spikes and low drops, quite a steady glucose level. So yeah, this is one of my choice moving forward, and I think you will see me using these or the two others mainly. Next up we have SIS Science in Sport. This is the gel with some electrolytes, it says, salted caramel. It's good in terms of flavor. One of the best, I think, with NeverSecond and Torq, which is coming right after that. So taste is very good. Size-wise, it's big. It's like 134 millimeters, which is the second longest gel. So this is a bit the issue with this one. Ratio 2:1, no issues. Sodium 118 milligrams, that's fine. And price is a bit steep, €2.25 per unit. Yeah, for some reason, and the variability wasn't great for me. So this is a bit like the Power Gel. Everything seems to be okay, although this one is way bigger than the Power Gel. So not one of my favorites. I know it's popular in some regions, so if you're happy with that one, go with it. It has 22 grams of carbs, which is actually quite low, and that's the lowest amount of carbs in a gel with the gels tested. So I would need to carry 6 of them for my 120 grams per hour of carbs, unlike the Precision Fuel, which I would need to carry only 4 of. So, you know, 6 of these big SIS gels or 4 Precision Fuels, that's a bit the reason why this one isn't in my shortlist. Last, we have these gels from Torq. I think it's also quite a recent company. I wasn't aware of it before doing the video and buying these gels. What I like really about them is the size. It's quite tall. I mean, it's 120 millimeters, which isn't among the smallest of the review, but it's also very, very narrow, and you can fit these into those elastic belts that some people use for their bibs as bib number holders for the races. They fit into the little pockets that you have on those elastic belts, and that's quite a nice feature. The tastes are very good and very original. Here we have strawberry yogurt, and here we have caramel latte. Some of the tastes in some of the brands seem to be original, but in the end, the taste is like too fake or doesn't really resemble the name. Here, I think the tastes are quite in line with the names, and you know, if you need some different tastes in order to maybe change a bit your mind and have something different during a race, that can be nice. They have the 2:1 ratio, they have 28 grams of carbs per gel, and the price is reasonable, 188. The issue for me is that it's not very easy to find them here in Belgium, so I probably won't be using them much, yeah, and the variability wasn't among the best gels I tested. So, you know, why not? Down the road I may try them again, but until they are more available here, and yeah, but overall, you know, the taste was quite enjoyable, so this is it for this one. Very quickly, just to sum up the video, the 3 gels with which I had the lowest glucose variability were these 3, so going from left to right, you have the Precision Fuel here, the 6D Energy Gel, and the Maurten Gel. I picked the caffeinated one, but it's irrelevant, you can pick any. And I had low variability with both, so just to be clear. You have the links in the description if you want to check those gels, purchase them, or whatever else you want to do. For this one, you have a discount code, and I think it's the only one for which you have a discount code. Use it, test it, and just like the others, test them. Play with the numbers, try less carbs, more carbs, try to, you know, be cognizant of the subjective feelings, how you feel. If you're getting tired because of those gels, it means that maybe the inflammation, that the high amount of carbs you're putting into your body is just too much for you, and you need to reduce the number or maybe the gels are producing too much variability in terms of glucose for yourself. Play with all of that. That's what I did all summer long, and I ended up having my sort of favorite gels for my races. I may retest again because new gels are coming on the market, and I think also our body adapts, using gels, and maybe I will reduce my number of carbs. I will maybe take it even higher than 120 grams per hour. Let's see. I will do a dedicated video on the numbers of carbs and why it's so high for me and why I recommend people to increase their number of carbs for races. Before then, I hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please go hit that subscribe button, that like button. It really helps the channel. I'll be seeing you in the next one, and in the meanwhile, enjoy your run, enjoy your ride, fuel yourself, go beyond your limits, and bye-bye.